It's what you don't, you watch the news, and very soon, you're enraged and confused. So you put on your cape to save the world, but it's a big and a cold and a shady world. Hurry, hurry up, all days are numbered. Yeah, now we're all right now. Yes, we're all right now. The future is in the air, the past is in the ground, and now we're all right It's what I know, it's what I mean. What I'm trying to say is thank God that I'm free and it's a new day. All of these things have control of me, and I can't guarantee what's in store for me. So take your time, cause I'm alright right now. Yeah, we're all alright now. Yes, we're all
Hi everyone and welcome to the Kirk Collins Show. I have special guest today, Lacey Gabrielle. Lacey, how are you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to hear your voice.
I know, and same here.
She asked him his name and told him what hers was. He gave her a story about life.
Sweet. We're doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I saw Kingston in the background. Hi, Kingston.
Hi.
He's a little camera shy, stage fright.
That's okay. Hi, Kingston. Where are you at, Lace?
We are at home in Wisconsin, quarantined.
Quarantine life, right?
Right.
So now you're a teacher. How's that going?
I know. I'm a fourth grade educator. It's going well. I am terrible at math, so that we know.
I love your
but
stories. You're asking questions like, what are those like crazy questions?
The riddles.
Yeah.
It's secretly me asking for help with my son's homework, but nobody has to know that.
Isn't it great? Thank God we don't really get asked these kind of questions in our adult life, because I'd be like, I have no clue.
Yes, that's what Google and Siri are for.
Right? This is so
For
crazy.
sure.
Does Kingston, is he liking being at home, or is he going crazy?
He is. He's loving being able to sleep in, but he is missing his friends, So that is a struggle for him. But, I mean, other than that, we're trying to stay busy, and we're sleeping a lot, which is unusual.
Hey, that's great. I mean, yeah. No one wants those bags under the eyes, right?
Beauty rest.
Do they have anything for kids? Like, are they, do they still have, like, class Zoom meetings, or is there anything they're doing to keep the kids connected?
Yeah, so for his school, he actually has a Google Classroom. So he logs in every day, and his teacher uploads different assignments, and So it's crazy though, like to try to keep up with everything because he's got his regular homeroom and then his music teacher is over there and his art teacher. I'm like, we don't have supplies, but yeah, it's
Oh no.
yeah, they're trying to have us do all this stuff. That's a lot to keep up with sometimes, but it's fun. We're doing it. We're making it work. So
Um,
they're doing well for, under the circumstances anyway. It was kind of just a shot. I mean, like they went Friday and then Monday they didn't have school for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? So it was like
right.
nobody was prepared for that. And, I'm happy that they're able to kind of figure things out this way for the kids to stay all connected and teachers because it's sad for them too. So,
Right? Like just absolutely crazy. Have you had to do any like administering of tests yet or quizzes? A pop-up
I
quiz?
mean, oh, honey, I had a parent teacher conference. What you
Oh.
mean? Like, yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been kind of a struggle. So, like, just, I guess, like, when they're not face to face with their teacher, it's a little bit different. So, it has been a challenge for me on some days, when my child doesn't really want to do his homework. So, I'm like, well, I can just do a Google Meet, no problem. We'll just do a Google Hangout with the teacher.
That's great that you have that though, right? I mean, it's so
Right.
crazy to think that all of a sudden, I mean, it's just crazy. All of a sudden, you just became a teacher, added to your
Exactly.
workload and your life.
I'm putting
And
it on my resume. You better believe it. Professional experience.
right? Started when March till TBD because we don't know, right?
Right.
So did they
Exactly.
cancel the school year there?
They did.
Oh shit. Oh
Right.
yeah, they did here too. So, and I think the news I saw yesterday that like a 5-year-old died of COVID. So
Terrible.
it's like
Absolutely.
it's like nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. So it's so scary.
It is. It is. It truly is.
Is there anything? Have you been doing something for you to stay sane during this time?
Lots of reading. I'm a reader. So on top of homeschooling, I've been trying to read, just mindfulness activities, using my essential oils always.
I am using your essential oil today. I had a really stressful
Uh-oh.
meeting at work, and now I lost it, actually. I rubbed it all over my body, and now I've lost it somehow. But it was the relaxed one. Can you tell us about these essential oils?
Yeah, the relaxed one is good for, like you said, stress, calming your nerves, that sort of thing. I use one CBD oil as well. I mean, that pretty much works for everything. So, yeah, we've been using those, taking walks when we can get out of the house. Just basically everything we can to stay busy, stay sane.
Right. Have you done any of these virtual happy hours, or have you talked to your family, like on Zoom or FaceTime? House party?
House party.
House party!
Yes, house party. We do the trivia. We did a
Okay.
virtual game night. So we got on there. I did like a Facebook event and we did some games on that. And then we merged over to house party and played trivia. So that was fun.
That is so fun. I like my favorite game on House Party. Well, I like two games. I like the drawing one. I don't know if you
Yes,
played that one, the drawing one, and then
we did.
what is the other one? Oh, it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, I started that and got a little confused. I So if you could teach me, that'd be great.
Well, I'd love to play sometime. That'd be really fun. And I'm really thankful for those different ways of technology. So it's like bringing us together in a different way. Even though I can't like hug you and kiss you, but I can still see
I
you,
know.
hang out. And you almost forget when you're playing those games. It's almost like you are together, kind of.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
So
I think we're pretty blessed to have that technology, keep in touch with family, friends. It doesn't make it so bad anyway. So,
right, Lace, I'm gonna play our first song. I played it yesterday, but I like it so much that I just want to start out the show with it one more time because it's so good. Did you ever watch the movie Walk to Remember?
Yeah, what year did that come out? 95? 96?
Right, we were still in the cradle, but I mean, I remember. I remember my parents showing it to me.
Straight out the womb.
Straight out the womb because I'm very young. I call myself almost a 90s baby, thank you. Okay, here is Mandy Moore, Only Hope, from her Instagram Live. She performed it for the first time in over 20 years. Here you go.
This is a song I've sung one time, almost 20 years ago. I think I've sung it once in concert in the Philippines, not that long after. But I've never really, I sang it once to record it, and that was...
Well, then I'm honored.
Well, I wasn't singing it for that reason, just it's weird. I've never really, it was one that we were going to fold into the tour, or will fold into the tour, speaking in past tense. We're going to fold it into the tour in some regard, but we hadn't really quite figured out the right arrangement for it, so...
Maybe this is it.
Maybe it is.
This is
the key that we were talking about? So, this has been requested a lot, and I'm going to try and do my best to make it work, but bear with me because I don't really know it, but okay. This is it? There's a song that's inside on my soul. It's the one that I've tried to write over and over again. I am awake in the infinite cold, but you sing to me over and over and over again. So I lay my head back down and I lift my hands and pray to be only yours. I pray to be only yours. I know now you're my only hope. Sing to me the song of the stars, of your galaxy dancing and laughing again. When it feels like my dreams are so far, sing to me of the plans that you have for me over again. So I lay my head back down and I lift my hands and pray to be only yours. I pray to be only yours. I know now you're my only hope. I give you my destiny. I'm giving you all of me. I want your symphony, singing all that I am at the top We'll get it
nailed
down.
it.
We'll get it
I
down.
thought
I'll
you
get
nailed
it down. That was weird.
100 out of 100 on both accounts.
On your
I'm
account.
giving.
Welcome back, Lacey. How you doing?
Thank you. Good.
Do you remember that song, Only Hope from Mandy Moore?
I do. Classic.
Right? It's really pretty, and I can't believe
It is.
she still sounds so great after all these years.
Right.
So, Lacey, tell our next segment is going to be about domestic violence and the effects that, being locked up with somebody who might be an abuser really would have on people. Lacey, what do you know about this?
I think it's a concerning time during this COVID-19 and everyone being quarantined. I think that the rates have gone up. People are basically stuck at home with their abusers during this time. So I think it is good if we could raise some awareness on that, let people know that there are highly trained expert advocates that are available 24/7 to talk confidentially with anyone in the U.S. who is experiencing domestic violence, even seeking resources or information or questioning unhealthy aspects of their relationship. Like I said, it's kind of a scary time for everyone. So my thoughts really have gone out to these people that may feel unsafe in their own home during this time. So I think we have the phone number. We can even give that here.
Yeah, so the phone number is 1-800-799-7233, and we'll say it again a couple times throughout the show because it's hard to just know that number right away, right? I don't remember any numbers anymore. So if
Me either.
If you're listening and you feel unsafe at your home or you're going through something, there's no shame in reaching out and asking for help, especially during this time. So the number is, and there's a website actually. So the website that you could go to that's really great is thehotline.org. Thank you, Lacey, for finding that website.
Of course. They also have a live chat feature too. So if someone is not able to get on the phone and talk about their situation, the live chat is available as well. That's 24/7. And they also do have resources for our deaf community or hard of hearing. So that's always available too.
And also taking a look at the website, I see they have options for Spanish. They have a lot of different resources on here. They have resources for victims and survivors. They just have a lot of different information on this website that you could go to. And if you need help, I think there's definitely no shame in asking for help at all.
Absolutely.
So I was just going to read, Lacey, this is from their blog and what they're saying, what they're noticing. So they're saying, we're hearing every day from survivors and their loved ones about how COVID-19 is already being used by abusive partners to further control and abuse. We know that any external factors that add stress and financial strain can create circumstances where a survivor's safety is further compromised. Sheltering in place with one's abuser makes this experience even more dangerous. Our advocates are providing critical safety planning and resources for instances such as this. We know that survivors are extremely strong and resourceful and will do all we can to transfer power back to them so they can make informed decisions on what's best for them. So, a big round of applause to everyone who works for them and is providing these critical resources. The number is, again, let me give you a moment, 1-800-799-7233. And there's also, like Lacey said, the great option to just chat. Sometimes I find it easier to just chat to someone online than, call them. And especially, you could even put yourself at more risk if that abuser is in your home and they would hear something, So this gives you another great option for reaching out a little bit, a little in private. And anything else you want to say about it, Lacey?
No, in that same blog that you're looking at, though, they did have quite a few things listed down there. One thing, creating a safety plan. A safety plan is a personalized plan that includes ways to remain safe while in a relationship, planning to leave or even after you leave. The hotline can help with that as well. And there's even an interactive guide to safety planning on the website. Practicing self-care, reaching out for the help, and knowing, most importantly, that you are not alone.
And that is really important to remember, is you are not alone. And, I think I can think for myself in times that I've really struggled. It's hard to ask for help and not knowing where to go. But just know you're not alone. There are resources out there for you, and they can really help you get out of the situation you're in.
Right.
And especially now, I just can't even imagine how hard it would be for somebody to be locked away with their abuser. I mean, that just breaks my heart even thinking about it.
Yeah, same here. And thinking about the kids, too, with kids being out of school and experiencing that, too. After I watched the Netflix special on Gabriel Fernandez, it's just wow. School was his safe zone. That was his safe place. He didn't want to leave school. So now that the kids are home, they don't have a choice, just really praying for them.
Right. And so that also is a good point. Is, it might not be you that is being abused, but it could be your kid, by your partner or whomever. And so this is another great resource if you need to go find safety for you and your kid, This is there. It's the hotline.org. The hotline.org. And Lacey, let's just take a deep breath in and out, or in our nose, out our mouth. Because that is stressful. I'm thinking about it. And my heart just breaks for those people. Which brings us to our next song. And this is an old song from a lady who I feel like she's disappeared. Christina, if you're there, come back. I miss your voice. It's so beautiful. She's got a lot of great songs. And this is called Human by Christina Perry.
I can hold my breath. I can bite my tongue. I can stay awake for days if that's what you want. Be a number one. I can fake a smile. I can force a laugh. I can dance and play the part if that's what you ask. Give you all I am. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. But I'm only human, and I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human, and I crash and I break down. Your words in my head, knives in my heart. You build me up and then I fall apart, 'cause I'm only human. I can turn it on. Be a good machine. I can hold the weight of worlds if that's what you need. takes so much till I've had enough. 'Cause I'm only human, and I bleed when I fall down. I'm only human, and I crash and I break down. Your words in my head, knives in my heart. You build me up and then I fall apart. 'Cause I'm only
Welcome back. Hey, Lacey.
There.
So, Lacey, I wanted to talk about what different things that we can do to try to stay sane and kind of do for ourselves to work on our mental health. So, for me, I've really been, well, I've been doing like as many things as possible because I've gone absolutely crazy. So, I've been doing a lot of yoga, and I find that that really helps me. But I've also just throughout the day been doing deep breathing. And have you ever done any deep breathing?
Yes, it definitely helps.
Yeah, and it also helps me, kind of with yoga, I've also been doing like mindfulness, just being present in the moment and like trying to not let my mind escape, like with thoughts going too crazy one way or another.
Right.
What have you been doing? Any tips?
Yeah, I've got some tips. Let's see. The first one I would recommend would be take a shower. And it's crazy though how much it will help you to feel better, especially when you're just kind of sitting around all day and losing track of time. What day is it even? All of that.
Right.
Use a face mask.
That's a great
Journaling.
idea.
I journal a lot, so I've found that helps me to release, just feelings of uncertainty and all of that, whatever we're experiencing during this time. Reading, I told you before.
Yeah.
My book, reading, drinking tea, just things that you wouldn't really normally take time to do. Do it now.
Right. For journaling, that's a really interesting one because I could find my old journal somewhere around here, but I used to really turn to journaling back in probably about high school, and I haven't done it since, but what a great idea. Any tips for journaling?
No, because I'm not an expert at it, but write down your thoughts, write down what you're grateful for, like gratitude. Make sure to express that. And I'm a doodler, so I doodle in my journal too.
Well, I think that sounds like a fun episode. We should just crack open that journal. Let's hear it, Lacey.
I mean, how about not?
I'm just
My
kidding.
loose listeners.
But I think, yeah, during this time, it's so important to find, whatever it is that helps you through it, Also for me
Right.
is music. I listen to so much music, and the music I listen to, I connect with it in a different way. Like that song Human I just played. We're only human, right? Like we're all doing our best. We're all in this, pretty much it's all of our first pandemic, right? We're all experiencing something together for the first time that we haven't experienced before. And so allowing ourselves to be sad, to be anxious, to be scared, to be uncertain, all those thoughts are okay. But then you have to also kind of counteract them with, what can help provide a better headspace for you,
Right.
Because, otherwise you're just going to go crazy. Or at least that's me speaking for myself.
Me too. You're speaking for the both of us.
Right. And even, also, like last Friday I took off work and I had a mental health day. And I think even doing something as simple as that, too, can really help. Because sometimes work is such a big stress for the ones, even though, like, we're grateful we're working, that just can add to my anxiety and stress level. And I could imagine for you, because now you got an extra job. Now you're an unpaid teacher.
Right. Right, honey. I did. I took the week off this week from work, so I'm just a teacher this week. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think sometimes we just need that break. And actually, I wasn't even mad about having to really have like the stay home order. I think that some people truly needed that in order to slow down in their lives. People won't slow down, working day in, day out, long hours and not taking care of themselves. So having to be forced into staying home and taking care of yourself for a little while, is it that bad? No.
Right. Well, yeah. I know. I really debate myself on this because we're so often like an autopilot, right? Like I wake up, I do the same thing in the morning, and then I go to work, and my work day is pretty much the same, and then I come home, and that's about the same as well. But it's also like very busy, So I think that we were so on autopilot, so now we're not on autopilot, and that's also like a whole new battle for our minds. For me, like I'm such a people person, so I thrive on the energy of other people. Like if I don't know how to explain it, but I just love other people. I love seeing other people. I love being with other people. And so I find this time to be really, really difficult, even though I am thankful that, it's changed up my life in a way. And I love being home with my husband and working from home. But I'm like, I need to see people or I might go crazy.
Right.
I'm already, as you know, I'm already bonkers. So I'm like, I just want to.
I could imagine you are going a little bit wild here because you do. That's when you thrive, though. You're a people person.
Right. Like I'm so used to always just having a lot of people around and going a lot of places to see people. And even, I am kind of a person who likes to go out. I like to go to the club. I like to, I like to dress wild. I like to just, do whatever and hang out. So, yeah.
And now you can't wear any clothes.
Right now I'm like, F it. If any of my coworkers are listening, it's hard to put on clothes. I don't know if do you watch The View ever?
I do every once in a while.
Yeah, yesterday it was so funny. I love Whoopi Goldberg like so much. Like between Whoopi and Joy, I think I'm a mix of those two. I'm an old woman, okay, everybody. I'm an old woman who likes to still have some fun. But Whoopi yesterday, they start the show and she's like, I am so disheveled. She's like, y'all are lucky I'm wearing clothes. I don't know where I am, what day it is, what's going on. And that is exactly how I feel every single day. And it's okay though, right? It's okay to feel that, to be disheveled. I mean, yesterday, it was Monday. I was putting on pants. My husband goes, Kurt, those are inside out. I'm like, I barely showered. I was like, I was a mess. And
sounds about right.
Right. We're just all doing our best right now. So I wanted to share, I thought this was a cute little clip. Jenna Bush, she's on the Today Show. And she just shares a little story about her mom. You might remember her, the First Lady of the United States under the second Bush. What's her name? Laura Bush. There we go. Laura Bush. She appeared with Michelle Obama. Ooh, I love Michelle Obama. We'll do a little cheer for Michelle Obama. We love you, Michelle. We love you so much. But Laura Bush appeared with Michelle Obama on the One World Together at Home concert. And here's Jenna Bush's story about her mom.
Well, I stayed up late on Saturday night, and it was the One World show, and I happened to see your mother. Yes. What an exciting moment. I was just minding my own business, and all of a sudden, this is a great concert event that raised $128 million for the World Health Organization, their COVID-19 response. But what a fun surprise to watch your mom pop up.
Well, I actually helped, I book her. My mom was the booking deal of that thing. There she is. She looks so cute.
Oh, she looked beautiful. So they called and they said, can you ask your mom to do this? And so I called her and I said, Mom, this is going to be really cool.
how everybody wants to hear your voice. It's reassuring to me as your daughter. I'm sure it feels that way. So she said yes, but her first concern was that her hair was going gray. So she got hair dye.
Yes.
My sister dyed her hair.
Yes.
And then, you know who the cameraman was on that really beautiful piece of work? My dad.
Okay. This is hilarious.
She was like, I'm not sure we have the technical capabilities. And I'm like, all you need is an iPhone and a cameraman. She's like, okay, I'll ask Bushy.
Bushy?
That was that.
By the way, it's perfect. It's perfectly framed. The hair is perfectly on point.
Right?
Everyone did great. And your mom was with Michelle Obama, which was nice to see because I know they're friends too.
Well, it's just nice, I think, you know, in a time when you posted something on Instagram that I looked at this morning, and it said, well, you'll be remembered for your kindness in this time.
Yes.
And I think, you know, we wasn't so long ago when people from different political parties could all be on the same team. And I think everybody wants to help out in this time. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. And so I think that felt reassuring because it's like, let's put some of these, titles or labels away and just help out. And that's what all of these artists did too.
All right, welcome back, Lace. Hey, Lacey. So what that was talking about, though, and a really good point that Jenna made is, you know, people are coming together now more than ever because this disease doesn't care if you're Democrat or Republican, right? So, you know, seeing Laura Bush and Michelle Obama united in an appearance, I think really speaks to all of us coming together. And it doesn't matter at all about our political affiliation, but just knowing that we're all in this together is what really I think is important. Which I think brings us to our next topic, Lacey. With COVID-19 and people, I mean, how many people have lost their jobs now? Like 20-something million people in about 4 weeks, I believe, is the number? Somewhere around there. Yeah, and people are losing their health insurance, and people are just really struggling and feeling hopeless. And so, you know, we wanted to bring attention to suicide prevention. And this is something, I think Lacey might know this about me. You know, I have struggled with this a couple times in my life. Even in the past, probably about a year or so ago, I struggled with it again. It's an ugly, ugly feeling when you feel very hopeless and you feel like you don't want to be on this planet anymore. With that being said, you know, if you do feel that way, I still think it's okay to acknowledge it, and especially it's okay to ask for help. And I had to, several times in my life, ask for help. And even last year when I was feeling really low, you know, I contacted my doctor, and just talking to my doctor that one time made all the difference in the world. You know, she really gave me some really good advice, and she's like, you know, whatever you're feeling, you have to remember it's temporary, and then you also need to acknowledge it and kind of make a plan so that if what you're feeling is caused by something else, you need to get yourself out of that situation. For me, it was, you know, there's been various different reasons for me why I've felt that way, but a lot of it was work pressure. I was really, really going through it at work. I was so stressed out, and I just felt like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything more than what I had already done. I felt like just hopeless. I felt so sad, and I know that a lot of people are feeling that way now. So we wanted to talk about suicidepreventionlifeline.org is the website. And Lacey, what have you found out about this? Yeah. So I was just looking too through their FAQ, which means frequently asked questions. uh, it said who should use the Lifeline chat program. And so they have the chat, they have the phone number, and what they say is anyone who is depressed, going through a hard time, needs to talk, or is thinking about suicide can use the chat. The chat counselors are here to listen and support you through whatever difficult times you may be facing. And, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I didn't even think of this, when I was going through a hard time. What a great resource to have. And it's available 24/7, it looks like. Right. So further along on their FAQ, what should I expect during a Lifeline chat session? And they say their goal is to help you reduce stress and feel empowered to make healthy decisions. You will be asked questions regarding your safety, feelings, social situation, and if you have any thoughts of suicide. If a chat counselor feels you're in danger, they will speak with you about accessing emergency services and or gather additional contact information to ensure your safety. The chat counselor will work with you to create a safety plan if necessary. Oh, that is just so amazing to hear. A safety plan, because that is so, your thoughts that you're feeling are temporary, but committing suicide is not temporary. That is, the opposite of temporary. It's final. You can't come back from it. And I think a lot of times you forget. You might feel like I have no one, I'm lost, but oftentimes, you do have somebody that loves you, you do have people who care about you, and sometimes just reaching out for help will make all the difference in the world. And we don't want you to cry because this is about healing, but I think with healing, it's okay to talk about these kind of things because that's what healing is about, right? Is taking something. Right, it's a process. And right now, it's hard to heal. I said this yesterday. I think it's really hard to heal right now because we're still in the middle of it. Usually healing starts to happen kind of after you've gone through something. But I look at it as like an approach of just if you take every day as its own day, you can heal from that day. So like every day I take time to heal from that day and decompress from the stress that I felt. And so that's just healing day by day. And it doesn't mean you heal all the way or, like you come out of this and you're completely healed and fine. But it's just acknowledging that you can only take a step forward each day. And that's okay, So also it's important to point out that for the Lifeline chat, the confidentiality and security of chats are ensured through the Lifeline chat software provider, which uses the same encryption and data protection standards required by major financial institutions to transact business with each other. So you should know that you are secure if you contact them. And also, Lacey, what I've heard is that volunteering is up. People are volunteering now more than ever. And volunteering can be something so great because that's also really like nourishment for your soul. If you're helping others. So let's say you're not feeling, or if you are feeling depressed, it might help to go and volunteer and help other people if you have the time. Right. And, pets can really provide a lot of relief. Like, I have a dog and 2 cats, basically my own zoo here. Call me Joe Exotic, thank you. And, but honest to God, my dog provides me so much joy. He's looking at me right now, and he's so stinking cute. I just love him so much. And he's a rescue from a kill shelter. And, he means the world to me, and I'm so glad we have him. He's so cute. I just squeeze him. So rescuing an animal is another great way to provide it kind of is like you're just getting a new best friend. You know, somebody who'll be with you, somebody who's going to love you. And, you know, now, like, you're pretty much at home. Most of us are at home all the time. So what a great time to get an animal and train them and enjoy their company. Or if you want to be a teacher, you can have a kid. Just have to wait 9 months of incubation. So, we want to talk about that suicide prevention lifeline. It's suicidepreventionlifeline.org. The number is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. And this brings us to our next song, which is by my favorite girl band in the world. Lacey, have you ever heard of this band called the Spice Girls? Wow. Well, this song is a song that really means a lot to me because it saved my life one time when I was attempting to commit suicide. It has a line in it that says, "You can be all right and still can be who you are." And that was the first time I think anyone ever said that to me. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head. When I heard them sing that line, I was like, oh my God. Like, I could be all right and be who I am. And up until that point, I just had so much negativity about who I was. So I hope this song helps you wherever you are, because it still helps me every time I listen to it, and it makes me cry, and I love it so, so much. Here's Spice Girls, Let Love Lead the Way. Oh, no, Lacey!
What makes this world go round? Will the answer let her down? She is so sweet and young, and her life has just begun. What does her future hold? That's a story left unknown. Will she make it through her days? Let our love lead the way. Part of me laughs, part of me cries, part of me wants to question why. Why is there joy? Why is there pain? Why is there sunshine and no rain? One day you're here, next you are gone. No matter what, we must go on. Just
Hi, Lacey. Welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Oh, I love your voice so much. So, Lace, I was telling you during the break, here in California, well, at least LA, I'm not sure if it's all of California, but every night at 8 p.m., we go on our balcony and we cheer for the healthcare workers and all the frontline workers. And I just wanted to, take some time to really acknowledge everyone. Like, thank you to the grocery store worker. Have you had to go to the grocery store?
I have, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that people are still out there on the front lines, and I'm very grateful for them and grateful for the employers that care about their employees working and are implementing different things for them in the workplace to try to stay safe.
Right. I mean, every time I go to the store here, it's like a madhouse. I'm like, it's just, there's so many people here. And then I just feel so bad. Now they put up at least like screens in between the workers and the people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's so scary. These are like minimum wage workers who are putting themselves, how many people are they seeing every day,
Exactly.
So I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all the frontline workers.
Thank you.
We appreciate it so much, from the grocery store to the hospital to the EMTs to the firefighters, policemen, delivery drivers, restaurant workers. I mean, Lacey, that's we've done those restaurant
We go
workers
way back.
way back. And, it's kind of crazy because we're like, these are essential workers, but you know what? They've always been essential workers. The people, we would have no food without the farmers, without the grocery store workers, without the restaurants, without the truck drivers who help get the goods from one place to another. Those were already essential workers.
Right. It shouldn't take this for us to realize that. That's kind of...
And we, we've treated them historically not that great. So I always thought of as jobs that are pretty indispensable and low-wage jobs that don't even generally have health care. So that's crazy. But Lacey, you also said, which I think is a really good point, is hard to know what is real. Can you talk about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, when we were looking for things to talk about today, coming across different things, different stories, the media, the way that the media portrays things, what's real and what's not. It's a fine line, and some of the things that you just Google is not it's not correct.
Right.
So
it is really hard to know what is real. It's something I've kind of always. So I took a journalism class, and it really kind of like opened up my eyes, because you had to really, well, first you had to understand what a news article is supposed to be, right? Like, a news article is just supposed to be, here are the facts, and no opinion is supposed to be inserted into that news article, and that's really what good journalism is. But nowadays, I don't so much blame the media as I blame almost education, because if people don't realize that this is an opinion versus a factual news story, that's hard. Is that the media's fault that people don't know that? I don't know. I think, it's hard to know. And it's scary because I always read President Obama's fact checks. After I would listen to his speech, I used to listen to like his speeches, the full speech. I went and saw him. I listened to the full speech. Because when you listen to the news and you just get sound bites, you are just getting a little bit of the story. You're not getting the full picture of what he's talking about. But I always would go afterwards and check out the fact check, because I wanted to know if I was misled. I wanted to know if something he said was just wrong, So, and I think, President Trump, I think, it's kind of a fact now that he just says whatever. So I think, it's hard because you're like, what information is he giving us that is true? What information isn't true? What is spin? What is, misinformation? It's just scary. I just, I don't know anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, and think about it. Even just with the coronavirus, we were told like it's not transferable person to person. You don't need to wear a face mask. And then they backtrack and like, oh, you need to wear a face mask, all these things. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of made sense to me before, like, oh, only healthcare workers need to wear face masks. Well, yes, they absolutely do. And, we absolutely need to have all the PPE that we can for them, the personal protection equipment, because, I mean, they're on the front lines. But, like, I mean, if we can't even trust what the government is telling us to stay safe ourselves, it's like, what's going on here? So it's scary. Very, very
Exactly.
scary.
Yeah. We need to be able to determine what's real and what's not so that we can keep our families safe. It's just, if
Right.
there's so much misinformation going around, then what's going to happen next?
And what scares me a lot are these people who are, I mean, I understand the frustration that these protesters are feeling, and I get it. But at the same time, I think people forget you're not just risking your life, you're risking a lot of other people's lives. Because if you are so careless, and you get this, you could spread it to so many people and not even know it. That scares me. It, like, really scares me.
Right.
Like, ugh, what are we going to do, So, next, Lacey, I wanted to play a little segment from The View where Representative Max Rose was on, and he was talking about the frontliners are the soldiers in the new war against COVID-19. So check out this segment. I mean, it really is so true, and it's so crazy that this is the world we're living in today.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here, Congressman. We're just thrilled to have you. Tell me, why did you want to deploy with the National Guard, and what did you learn from this experience?
Well, thanks so much for having me, all of you. I'm a huge fan, as is my entire family. Look, anything that I just did over the last 2 weeks, while it was an incredible privilege, is nothing compared to the incredible service that I saw. You all spoke about in your last segment, searching for optimism in this day and age. Well, I'll tell you, you can find it right out there on the front lines. I served alongside doctors who, had lost family, whose family was sick, and they were still soldiering on. Nurses who hadn't had the opportunity to hug their children in weeks, if not more than a month. And I remember on the last huddle before we saw the first patient at this COVID-only facility that this extraordinary team had built and established in less than a week, that you saw the soldiers in their own uniform, many of whom had deployed more than a few times, applauded the first-line medical professionals. These are the soldiers in this new war, and just that moment where people aren't thinking about political differences, they're not thinking about divides, they're just getting the job done. That gives you all the faith that you need in this country that we're going to beat this virus.
So what do you say to your fellow Congress folks with the military experience? You think they'll follow your lead and help to keep this jubilance going?
Well, I'll tell you what I am advocating for, and I'm certainly not the only one. This is an operational problem at this point, and there's a clear role that the federal government has got to play, as well as a clear role for states and cities. But there are certain things that only the federal government can get done, and with presidential leadership, and that's centered around production of these critical supplies that we need: the PPE to protect our medical professionals, the reagents, the lab equipment, the swabs. We need millions upon millions of these items so we can ramp up testing, ramp up antibody testing, do the contact tracing, so we can open up this economy, albeit gradually, because it's true, people are suffering economically. And we have got to work our hardest to allow for people to get back out there safely, albeit, and start providing for their families again, and make sure that we have the hospital-based infrastructure behind them. so that we can continue to aid the sick as well as protect those who are the most vulnerable.
Congressman, this is Megan. First of all, thank you for your service in our military and all that you're doing right now. We're all very grateful. You are an Army veteran with a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star as you served in Afghanistan. And you recently said that you agree with President Trump comparing this virus to a war. So how do you think it compares, and should that inform our response?
It absolutely should inform our response. And in many ways, it's more analogous with World War II than it is even with the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, not to ever reduce the incredible sacrifices that our soldiers made in the 21st century. But in World War II, it was more of an instance of total war, where we had to utilize the full manufacturing capacity of the United States. And this requires the president to step in, assert all of the powers underlying the Defense Production Act, as he did in the Korean War, for instance, to make sure that there's no shortage of these critical supplies that we need. And there's a lot of complexity around this, but it does boil down to the simple fact that the free market alone won't solve this problem. That many companies who make all of these critical supplies are saying, well, I don't know if I'm going to build that second factory or that third factory because I don't know if this demand will be there a year from now. The federal government can step in and guarantee purchases for several years to come. Worst case is that those purchases go towards a reserve. It's things like that. But there's another element of war that I think is even more important right now, and that is the solidarity that comes during a wartime, where people are not thinking about ways to divide each other, but they're thinking about ways in which we can unite. That's what makes this the greatest country in the history of the world. It's how we sent a man to the moon. It's how we won World War II, won the Cold War, and it's how we're going to beat this. And I have more confidence than ever that we can get that done.
Now, Congressman, you've said nothing would make you happier than seeing the president be successful in beating COVID-19, even if it means him winning re-election. What does the president need to do right now that he has not done?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just speak to the larger politics of this. After Barack Obama won his first election, Mitch McConnell stood up and said his singular priority is to make sure that this president doesn't win re-election. I'm never going to stoop down to that level. During every moment of significant crisis in this country, it has required presidential leadership. We all know that the president has to step up and utilize the full powers available to him as commander-in-chief. He asserted the Defense Production Act yesterday for swabs. I think that is exactly the type of thing that we need to see more of. And we can't think about politics right now. We can't think about an election. We have to just think about the future of this country and beating this virus. We need to dramatically expand testing to the point where we're doing millions of tests per day for both antibodies and the virus. We need to have significantly expanded hospital infrastructures in place in the event of a second surge. Let's not forget, in the history of pandemics, it's often the second surge, which is even more severe than the first. And then lastly, we have to think about how are we going to protect those people who we're now calling essential workers. They were always essential. The cops and firemen and teachers and nurses and people working in supermarkets and the transit workers, so many of whom live in my district. We've got to be there for them.
Welcome back. That was Representative Max Rose from The View. I love that show. I watch it every day. And he is good, folks. He is good. I would mark him down on your calendar. He is going to be one to watch. He's going to be one to watch. He's a veteran, and yeah, he's really, really smart. So I like him. I like him a lot. Lacey, you still there, girl?
I'm here. Do you have me off mute?
Yeah, you're off mute, yes. We got Lacey Gabrielle here. Lacey Gabrielle. Lacey is a small business owner. Lacey, tell us a little bit about your small business.
Yeah, so I'm an independent distributor for Young Living essential oils. So I do a lot with my oils. They're great during this time for the extra support. If you don't have a diffuser, I would highly recommend It just helps to bring a little extra joy in your life, help you to practice that good old self-care.
Oh, well, that is great, Lace. For the self-care, you do essential oils, you said, right?
Mm-hmm. We do.
But you're not a doctor.
I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose you or treat you or cure anything that you have. But I can share from experience and give information regarding what I use my oils for. We use them for literally everything. So cooking, cleaning, emotional support, stress support, beauty regimens. I mean, you name it, we got it. So
that's amazing. Lacey, where can we find more information?
I have a website, actually. So you can go to getoiling.com/ooh-la-la-Lacey17.
Oh, okay. We'll put that link up in the show episode. So it's Lace. Wait, can you say it again?
Sure. It's getoiling.com/ooh-la-la-Lacey17.
All right. We'll put the link up for everyone. So check it out. Lacey sent me some essential oils, and I really use the one that's the relaxed one. I'm using it right now, just trying to center myself. Lacey, let's take a deep breath in our nose, out our mouth. Ready? Taking even just a moment every day to just take a couple deep breaths, centering yourself, I think that really helps. It especially helps me, at least, so because my mind is wild, let me tell you. Why? Oh. Lacey, for our last little thing I wanted to do with you, since we have you here, is play a game of speed round questions. So I want you to just say the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you these questions. Are you ready?
Oh my. I guess. This is
you know
a surprise.
What, Lace? Okay, I'm going to give you just a moment actually to think about it. I wanted to play one more song before we go, actually. It's just a quick little song.
Okay.
And it's from the movie Pocahontas. And I played it yesterday, and I want to play it again because it's from the Disney Family Sing-Along, and Tori Kelly sings Colors of the Wind. And I'm telling you, this song, I love it so much. I can't get enough of it. I don't know why. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. So here's Colors of the Wind.
Pocahontas was my favorite Disney princess growing up, and the movie happens to have one of the best Disney ballads ever. Yes, I'm talking about Colors of the Wind, and I would absolutely love it if you guys sang along with me.
You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountains? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. For whether we are white or copper skinned, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountains. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until you
the wind.
It's just so pretty, all the colors of the wind. Ah. I'm like, I gotta get Disney Plus so I can watch this movie, Pocahontas. I might still have it on VHS. Lacey, you still there, girl?
Here I am.
Did I make you fall asleep with my Pocahontas music?
No, love Pocahontas.
Right? And such a great message, you know?
It is.
So, Lacey, like I said before the break, we're going to play a lightning round of questions, and I'm so excited. I got some good questions queued up for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
People are cheering for you. You can't even hear it. They're cheering. Oh, my gosh, the applause is so loud. Woo! Okay, Lacey. So just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Ready?
Okay.
Favorite movie?
I'm already failing. Favorite movie is Sister Act.
Ooh, yes, girl. Favorite color?
Teal.
Favorite artist?
Oh, that one's tough because I have a lot of different artists that I love. So we're going to skip.
Okay. If you could have dinner with one person who is dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, my grandpa.
Oh, that's really sweet. Favorite memory of us?
Too many to list. I mean, do we? That's hilarious. Yeah, every memory, every day that I've ever spent with you is a favorite memory to me because we always had so much fun. We always do.
Right.
But I would say Old Town Pub for all of my OGers out there.
Yes, Old Town Pub. That was so fun.
OTP.
That place was, Old Town Pub was, woo, lit, to say the least.
Super lit. Every
Favorite
time,
TV
Kirk.
Oh, sorry.
Every time you walk through the door.
Right?
It got wild.
Right? Get me to the jukebox. I'm ready, y'all.
Spice Girls all night long.
Right? Mixed with a little Britney, a little bit of Miley.
Oh, yeah. That's when that Toxic song was out. Yes. Remember that?
Ooh. You're toxic. I'm slipping under. Okay. Favorite TV show that you are binging on currently?
The Innocence Files on Netflix. I wouldn't say it's like a favorite, but that's what I'm binging right now. It's different.
What is
and
it,
just got done with Joe Exotic, or Tiger King.
And
I would say that's hilarious. Like, it's so crazy. And Carol Baskins definitely murdered her husband. There's no question.
What? No way.
He's surely
still out and about.
No, how come she was telling them just put a little sardine oil? Like, come on now.
I'm just kidding. She for sure killed her husband and has gotten away with it, okay?
Oh.
Right. So what we learned from that is if you want to kill your husband, get a tiger. There we go.
And sardine oil.
Okay, Lacey, what will be the first thing you do once quarantine ends that you're looking forward to the most?
Vacation.
Oh, yes. Where you want to go?
Well, me and one of my besties were supposed to actually be in Barcelona right now, but yeah, we were originally going to go to Thailand, and then once coronavirus was kind of crazy over there, we were like, okay, we retracked our flights over to Spain. We had one-way tickets to Barcelona, and we were going to go country hopping, but yeah, so that's still in the works, but we just had to put it off for a little while.
Yeah, hopefully you get to take that trip again soon.
Yes.
Lacey, thank you so much for joining today. I love you so much.
I love you more. Thank you for having me.
It's such a great episode of Healing Together. And check out Lacey's website. Lacey, what is our website?
getoiling.com/ooh-la-la-Lacey17.
Lacey, do you have any social media that we could follow you on?
I do. I've got an I guess they call it IG now. Instagram would be Belle_Lace.
Belle_Lace.
And I have Facebook, Lacey Gabrielle.
All right, so if you'd like to follow Lacey on her journey of what we call life, check her out. Lacey, thank you for joining. I love you so much.
Thank you, honey.
And to play us
I
out,
love you.
we're going to do Ellie Goulding. She performed Love Me Like You Do from the One World Together at Home concert, and it's beautiful.
Hi guys, I'm Ellie Goulding, and this is my guitar, and I'm going to play some songs for you as part of Together at Home. And I think it's amazing that we're all staying home, keeping ourselves safe, keeping others safe, and amazing that we all get to be in something together, as terrible as it is. I've seen such amazing kindness and togetherness and solidarity from people, that it's been really cool to see. I wish it was in slightly better circumstances. Anyway, I'm just going to sing and play. And I'm going to play a song that you may know, that you may know. You're the light, you're the night, you're the color of my blood. You're the cure, you're the pain, you're the only thing I want to touch. Never knew that it could mean so much, so much. You're the fear, I don't care, 'cause I've never been so high. Follow me through the dark, let me take you past the satellites. You can see the world you brought to life, to life. So love me like you do, la la, love me like you do. Love me like you do, la la, love me like you do. Touch me like you do, touch me like you do. What are you waiting for? Fading in, fading out, on the edge of paradise. Every inch of your skin is a holy grail I've got to find. Only you can set my heart on fire, on fire. Yeah, I'll let you set the pace, 'cause I'm not thinking straight. My head's spinning around, I can't see clear no more. Oh, what are you waiting for? Love me like you do, love, love me like you do. Love me like you do, love, love me like you do. Touch me like you do, touch me like you do. Oh, oh, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Oh, I let you set the pace. Oh, 'cause I'm not thinking straight. No, my head's spinning around, I can't see clear no more. Oh, what are you waiting for? Love me like you do, love, love me like you do, like you do. Oh, love me like you do, touch me like you do, touch me like you do. Oh,
Love Me Like You Do, in case you hadn't guessed. So yeah, thank you everyone for following all the guidelines and staying at home, protecting yourself and protecting everyone around you. Hopefully it won't go on for too much longer, but I hope you're all keeping busy and staying happy and positive and enjoying the sunshine somewhat. Yeah.
Thanks everyone so much for tuning in. Thank you to my special guest, Lacey Gabrielle. I love her so, so much. Oh, I couldn't have done the show without you, girl. Thank you. And we covered some really great moments and talked about suicide, and we talked about domestic abuse and how it's gone up during this crazy time. So please check out those resources we talked about if you're experiencing any of those things. I hope this helped you heal. And remember, healing is just a day-by-day activity because we're taking it day by day. I love you. Stay safe. Stay at home. And have a great rest of your Wednesday. Bye, Lacey. Thank you.
Bye. Love you. Thank you.
Love you.